What is going on, guys? Joey Suggs here. Welcome to today's video. Welcome to a delicious first meal we have. And more importantly, well, most importantly, welcome to Road to Ripped, episode 11. All right, you got a sneak peek of everything in here, but to show you how it looks all combined up, here is our meal number one. And that right there is a beautiful combination. By the way, let me give you the rundown of exactly what's in here. So we did a little over a serving of the Quaker Quick Oats with some Fairlife fat-free milk in there. Put it in the microwave, and like every single time I make oatmeal, I had it overflow and get all over my microwave. But after that, we added 1 scoop of the First Form salted peanut butter protein powder in there. Stirred that up, added some wild frozen blueberries, and drizzled a little bit of peanut butter over top. And this is what we're left with. And this is a meal that I've been eating for years at this point. And I always just kind of go back and forth from this and other stuff for like a high protein breakfast or like a pre-workout meal. The combination of different consistencies and flavor in this just make it spectacular. Not to mention, I did do peanut butter protein in this, but you can change it up with so many different varieties of protein flavors, and that adds a really big difference in the overall taste of your mix. All right, excuse me, but I had to go ahead and just polish off that entire meal before we continued. Also, before we continue, I always forget to do this, but can you please press the like button on the video? It helps out more than you can imagine. And also, if you're not subscribed, that also helps out the channel massively. So if you do enjoy the content, just make sure to do that. It does help me out. Let's look at the calories and macros in this meal right here, because it's a really good start to the day. We're sitting right around 520 calories. That's with everything in, and that's a pretty big filling meal. Oats are a really good, like, dense source of carbs. And with that, we have pretty nicely balanced, a little high on the carbs to start with, but that is just fine. And 44 grams of protein to start off the day. So we're in a really good spot. It's a little later start to the day because I've been up early kind of just doing some computer work. But with that meal in, now we can really get the day started. Okay, I have been filming some reviews in the garage. It's been a little while now. Actually, it's been a long time. It's been like 3.5 hours. That's how filling that first meal was. But I'm ready for the next meal, and I know exactly what I want. And it's a sandwich, which I know is boring, but stick with me because it is pretty good. I'm gonna do 2 slices of this Nature's Own keto bread, 35 calories per slice in the toaster. Then straight out of the toaster, I'm gonna add a slice of cheese to each side. And this is the Velveeta cheese slices, by the way. For condiments, I'm gonna do a little bit of light mayonnaise and a little bit of deli mustard. Then we can layer on the meats. I'm gonna use some smoked turkey and some ham. And just a combination of both of these. They have the same macros, so I can weigh them the same and track them as the same thing, even though I'm using both. And just because, I'm gonna add some turkey pepperonis into the mix as well. And we can go ahead and close that up, just because I'll have a few pickles as well. Okay, girthy sandwich preview here. I'm not really a crust person myself, but let's dive in. Wow, yeah, that's a meaty, tasty sandwich. I mean, there's no real magic being done here. It's a sandwich using some lower calorie options than normal, and it still tastes good. Just has a little less calories and a little more protein. It's stuff like this, the simple stuff, the small changes that I think actually make a big difference in the long run of things as far as keeping weight down and stuff like that. Because this tastes exactly like a normal sandwich would. A sandwich I've had since I was literally 2 years old. But instead of there being 180 calories in the cheese, maybe, they're 70. Instead of the bread being 200 calories, it's also 70. So it's just small changes like that make a difference. The pickles are just pickles, but obviously pickles go well with a sandwich. Now there's one other thing that goes well with a sandwich, and that's chips. I had to go to the store to pick up the turkey to make that meal. So I decided to pick up a few options to try out. We have the Wild protein chips, the Atkins protein chips, and the Quest protein chips. I think I've had all of these before besides the Atkins, but I figured let's put them all head to head right now and have a little test. They're in order from worst macros to best macros. 210 calories, 13 grams of protein, 140 calories, 13 grams of protein, and 150 calories, 18 grams of protein. So we'll try the best macros first. Quest tortilla chips cheese flavor. Not a whole lot in the bag there, but that definitely looks like a nacho cheese Dorito to me. The flavor is like 100% on point. The consistency, it's a little harder, a little less airy, and a little thinner than a Dorito. But the flavor is really, really good. All right, next, Atkins. We used to like make fun of kids in middle school saying that they were on the Atkins diet. But let's see if their chips are any good. This is the Chipotle barbecue flavor. Looks very similar. Let's give it a shot. They're pretty good. The first thing I'd say is I don't know if I've had this specific flavor of any like name brand chip before, but the flavor is good. The main difference I guess I found between these and the Quest is that these are like a little thicker and airier, but all around, yeah, they're very solid as well. And last up, the Wild chips. This is the salt and vinegar flavor. And the macros are wildly different and the shape of the chip is wildly different as well. It's more of like an actual potato chip shape. The flavor, the salt and vinegar flavor is very good. The crisp of a chip is similar, but a little more hard than the crisp of a normal chip. And all around, they're really good. I will say they do have they're made with chicken. I don't know how, but they are. And I do taste a little bit of like chicken aftertaste when I eat them. So for me, I'd actually rank them in this order from best to worst. But in reality, they're all really good options. This definitely has a lot more calories and less protein than the Quest. So keep that in mind. But all around, if you're in a pinch and you want chips, I think all of these are really good options instead of like your normal chips. All right, so I tracked a third of each of these bags. I feel like that's probably about right considering how much I ate. But before that, the meal itself, just the sandwich, was 365 calories. That's really good for that big sandwich that we had. And after we put the chips in, we're sitting a little over 1,000 calories for the day. That's still really good, especially when you pop into the macros and we have 110 grams of protein so far. Everything else looks nicely balanced. We had a little less carbs in this meal and it worked out just fine. So a nice traditional style lunch, but with a couple added twists and changes to make it high protein and even lower calorie. Quick change for the workout today. And for the workout, I've been working in the garage a lot today. Doing some reorganization, things like that. So I'm excited to put everything to use, but I did want to show you this. So peep the new Dry Fit Performance Collection TLF shirt. This launched sometime last month. And this top right here combo with like their mesh shorts on the bottom with the zipper pockets, nice like Miami theme, all color coded matching. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know this is what I wear every single day. So if you want to check anything out from TLF, check out the link down below. My TLF code, TLF-Suggs, will save you 15% off your order. So that's really nice. Now for our workout today, it's gonna be a back and bicep workout, mostly focused on back. And I'm gonna go hit a little walk outside to get warmed up in the nice Florida heat if we can get this workout started. Warm up done, and I'm gonna work into a little bit of stretching before we get into our back and bicep day. And the stretching is just going to consist of a little bit of, well, stretching, a little bit of bar mobility work, and a little bit of foam rolling just to get the back nice and loosened up. Then first actual movement is actually still of a warm up. I'm going to do 2 sets of both some cable pull-ins, just relatively lightweight, as well as some like cable high to low rows for 2 sets. And then my first actual working set is going to be that same cable high to low row, but now just with heavier weight and progressively loading that for 3 full hard working sets. Probably gonna stick to around 10 to 12 reps here, and that'll be a good first movement for us. Lats are feeling good, and now we can work into one of my favorite movements I've been doing recently, and that is a T-bar row. For whatever reason, I've been really feeling this a lot in my mid to upper back, and I've been enjoying the exercise quite a bit. So I'm gonna do pretty, or at least relatively heavy weight here, going for around that 8 rep range, maybe up to 10, and I'm gonna do 4 working sets of this. This will serve as my main movement for upper back today. All right, now to finish out back, we're gonna hop back onto the cable pull-ins. A little heavier weight this time and going to complete failure for 3 sets. I'm also gonna superset that with such a neglected exercise. Very weird angle to film at, but just a very standard, like isolated single arm dumbbell curl. Like I always try to do something fancy and forget how good this movement really is for like working on the peak of your bicep. So I'm gonna do 3 hard working sets to failure here for biceps to start. And to wrap things up, I'm gonna be doing another instant classic 21s with like an easy curl dumbbell bar. Probably just gonna finish out biceps with 2 sets of this to wrap things up for us. All right, people, and that will round up what I think is actually really good workout we had today. I'm gonna go ahead and do my physique update before my cardio because I have been realizing after my cardio, I feel like I'm about to pass out some days and it's just not worth doing the physique update now. But I will say, if you watched the last video, kind of more of the same. Like I've been good all week, I do really well, and then something comes up. We had to go out of town on Friday just for the night, but I didn't get to work out Friday. Came back late on Saturday, didn't get to work out Saturday, and now here we are on Sunday checking in after 2 days off completely and eating out those 2 days as well. And sadly, the weight is pretty much the same. Actually, I think it is the exact same as it was last week. So yeah, progress is not as good as I would have hoped, but I obviously know why. During the week, I'm still doing a pretty good job of like getting my cardio done, staying within calories. It's just the weekends that just hurt me pretty rough. But here's what I will say, today has been kind of a bit of a turning point for me. Like you kind of saw throughout the workout, the garage is a lot more organized, and working out in the garage when I had boxes to unbox and I knew I had to film videos, I had 2 pieces of the same equipment and I had to film a video on that. Like that stuff really like got to my head. It just kind of stressed me out, like all the looming things that I know I need to get done, and just was kind of putting it off. And it kind of made my workouts a little bit more unenjoyable. It's tough to explain because in a commercial gym, you're used to going into the gym, seeing everything in the exact same format that it always is, and that's kind of reassuring in a sense. With a home gym, you're constantly evolving and changing and things coming in, things coming out, and it makes me want to like tinker more than like work out. And now that things are a little more organized, a little better laid out in my opinion, and in their proper spot, my workouts just the past day or so now have been really good. So I know I say this in pretty much every video, but things are definitely looking up from here on out. And all in all, I'm pretty happy, right? Obviously, I want to have a disgustingly ripped 6-pack for summertime, but at the same time, I still want to be able to enjoy summertime and all the things that come along with it. So it's all about balance for me, and this Road to Rip series is teaching me quite a bit about balance. So do I think the physique is any better than it was in the previous video? No, definitely not. Is it any worse? No, probably not. I'm probably right about the same point that I was last week, and that's not really great, but it's not terrible either. And as the weeks move on, all I can do is hope to continue the marginal growth week over week. But that's pretty much it for the little physique update this week. I'm gonna get a shower in and then we can make some dinner. All right, and as I have been working out, Perry's been having quite the little chef's night over here. She's got her wine, turkey burgers, French fries, peppers, pasta, all sorts of fun stuff. She's also watching Shrek, but that's not exactly what I'm gonna have for dinner. Let me show you. So I've defrosted these Tuscan pork tenderloins from Costco, and I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the pan. And I know this is kind of maybe boring or lame, but it's just so simple and so good. I'm gonna have one of these quinoa and kale Path of Life blends with my meal tonight. And this literally just goes in the microwave for 4.5 minutes. All right, to add a little more volume, I'm gonna do some of this Publix frozen mixed veg, and this can go in the microwave for a few minutes as well. All right, and as that comes back out of the microwave, I'm gonna add about half my bag of my quinoa Path of Life mixture, and done in the pan, I'm gonna add 3 of my pork tenderloins. All right, and what I believe was under 10 minutes fully, we have dinner for tonight. Now there's one thing I have to have whenever I'm having this meal specifically, and that is some A1 sauce. Lucky for me, 1 tablespoon is 15 calories, so it's one of the lowest sauces out there. And I just drizzle a little bit over top. All right, hopefully this pork is cooked well. Oh yeah, cooked quite nicely and tastes quite nicely as well. Now the Path of Life I've talked about pretty extensively at this point. I've been having it for years. It's a really good, simple mixture. You don't really need to add any vegetables if you don't want to. And the entire bag is only 360 calories. I only had half, so only 180 in this meal, and it still added some really good volume. That combined with the mixed veg, I did crack a little bit of salt and pepper on there, but that's it, and it ended up absolutely ideal. All right, everything cleaned up and I put everything away. I have another meal to have tomorrow night for dinner, which is really nice. But I just realized I forgot to go over the calories and macros of that meal and where we sit right now. So meal 3, really, really nice, simple meal, right around 500 calories as well. Basic, yes, maybe a little boring, also yes, but it did put us right where we need to be. 15, right around 1,600 calories total for the day, and 162 grams of protein. But what it also does is it allows room for the dessert that I talked about in the previous road trip episode that I really wanted to have but didn't have room for. Well, now we do. All right, don't hate on me because I swear this is good. Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt, strawberry cheesecake flavor too. So 2 containers going in. Next, to add a little more protein, I'm doing a half scoop of strawberry flavored protein. Then we can go ahead and give that a good mix. Next, to add some sweetness, some Lily's dark chocolate chips. Now this might sound familiar from earlier today. We're gonna add some wild blueberries and of course, a nice drizzle of peanut butter. All right, look at this beautiful, beautiful dessert right here. Perry's kind of giving me shit because she thinks this isn't a dessert, it's more of a breakfast. I disagree. I think anything that is this tasty and sweet and delicious can definitely be considered a dessert. Now, this bite right here has a little bit of everything in it. And that flavor right there is exactly what I'm looking for to curb my sweet tooth, to curb my sweet appetite, and to end my night with a still really high protein and low calorie dessert as well. Like, just think about how many different consistencies is in this meal. You have the consistency of the yogurt, light, and I don't really know what that consistency is, but then you have like a hard frozen consistency of your blueberries, but still kind of icy. Then like even crunchier, harder of your chocolate chips as they get cold. And then you have that like thick, creamy consistency of the peanut butter on top as well. And it all just plays super nicely in there together. Not to mention the flavor from the strawberry cheesecake yogurt combining with the strawberry protein. Those two are a really nice symbiotic couple as well. And where this leaves us calorie and macro wise is under 2,000 calories for the day. Pretty awesome. I think that's the first time we've done that this road to ripped. And it did that by 410 calories, everything in there super nice. And pop into the macros, we did really well. Over 200 grams of protein, fats and carbs balanced pretty nicely in there too. I'm still having real peanut butter twice in one day. It's pretty good for this deep into a cut. So I'm gonna wrap up my night by having the rest of this tasty dessert. But for this video, I'm gonna wrap things up here. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, as always, press the thumbs up button for me. And I will be seeing you very shortly in the next one. Peace.
This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up.